Did you enjoy your theme song, Real Deal? And was that Jim Johnston? Dila, what did you think of The Real Deal?
That was Jim Johnston. He is a musical genius. I don't care what you say. I watched that man create that song in about 5 minutes from a couple CDs I brought him. He told me to bring him a couple beats and rhythms that I liked, and he goes, "Let me hear some things." And he can look at a person, watch them work, and if you notice the Jim Johnston era music, the music always fit the person.
100%.
He can literally watch you and create music for that character that is totally a part of who you are. And that song, it's actually Danger at the Door is the name of it. That song is just as synonymous with me as a chest protector, as the European title. It is part of the whole package that is me. Yeah. And without it, there's a piece missing.
It's funny to me when you think back, everyone had a theme that fit their character. Mm-hmm. And the one that stands out to me the most was Steve Austin's Glass Break, and you knew what was going on. The Nation, I don't think gets enough credit for their theme either. Yeah. You knew that you were in for an ass kicking when you heard that. Yeah. Do you think it lost itself a little bit when we moved away from that theme with the Nation?
I think the Nation theme was, like you, as you put it, when you heard the drums and the bass, and you knew, and you heard, "We are the Nation," you knew stuff was about to go down. I love that theme, but we had also, as a group, individually, had grown out of the group. So the Nation theme was good for the Nation, but then each one of us started to grow. Ron Simmons and Mark Henry and The Rock and myself, we all grew out. And that's when we all started getting our own thing, and you speak of Steve Austin's music, like I could hear it in my head right now.
Yep.
When you hear the glass, that's your ass, is what we would say. And you just knew it was badass music for a badass individual. Even the way he power walked to the ring fit with the rhythm of the song. Yep. And that's the magic of Jim Johnston. Everyone's music fit with them.
You were part of one of my favorite moments in 1997. It's Springfield, Mass. It's the DX pay-per-view, and you guys are out in the ring, and there's no idea if Steve's going to make it. Guys are cutting his heel promo, and the glass hits, and the truck drives down, and it's just pillar to post ass whooping. And you take the stunner on the truck.
Yes.
You've been in the ring when that glass hit.
Yes.
What can you compare it to?
There's nothing. I've been in the ring with some of the greatest names, money drawers, seat fillers on the planet. There is nothing like being in a sold out building, and there's that long pause, and then all of a sudden the glass breaks. And there's a point when the glass breaks, and then for about 3 or 4 seconds, you can't hear the music because the audience is so loud. The only thing that comes close is the Undertaker's gong. If you smell.
Yeah.
Like those are things, like you hear those certain beginning of music and the crowd does its thing. There are very few people that have that reaction. And when Steve comes to the ring, whoa. It's wow. It's mind blowing.
The building shakes. We've seen the camera not be able to stay still. And one of my other ones that I just thought of as you said that was the guitar for Bret Hart.
Yes.
One of my favorites. You were there in 97 at the Canadian Stampede when they had that gigantic 10-man Hart Foundation.
Yes.
Austin, Shamrock, as you mentioned, a big part of your career. Road Warriors and Goldust. And I've never heard a building as loud as that one was, as every heel, and I guess in that case, babyface, came out until Bret's music finally was the last one. I've never seen a building up until that point shake like that. That's one of my core memories. And I say that because everyone forgets 97 was the beginning of the Attitude Era, but that's one of those things that stands out to me. You knew when Bret's guitar hit, you were in for it. And I think that's one of the things, I'll say this to bring it full circle. There's a lot of generic music in wrestling nowadays.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's enough individual. And the thing I point to, and I brought this up with someone recently, Bad Bunny's entrance in Puerto Rico, when the first two beats of his song hit, whole crowd knew it was him.
Yes.
I believe in Joe Henry. John's got a good point there. Now I believe it's Joe Henry. When his music hits, everyone knows who it is. When you're in the ring and you look out and everything's dark, does that change how you're thinking and working in the ring? Or do you like it lights up?
No, I like it lights up because me, and as most wrestlers are, I like to interact with the people that are around me. And we perform in the theater and around. That's the best way to put it.
Yep.
And I like looking into the faces to see, is my match affecting you? Do you have an emotional response? You know, I'm looking at 1,000 things, but I can't see that if I can't see your face. And so I like when the lights up. And man, it takes me. You say the worst thing that ever happened to wrestling was cell phones, because it took the flash bulb away.
Yep.
And there's something cool about standing up in the corner and being blinded by 1,000 flashes going off.
Yep.
And yeah, music is very generic now, because back in our day, you knew who was coming out by the first chord of most songs. And that's not the same thing anymore. And I remember watching a pay-per-view not too terribly long ago, and I'm not going to mention the company name because I don't want to throw it out there, but it almost seemed like the music would hit and there was a 10-second delay because people were waiting to see who was coming out.
Yep.
And that, to me, loses some of what wrestling is. Like, I should know who it is, so I'm cheering. The second their music hits, I'm either up or I'm booing my ass off, but I'm involved. When people have to wait to see the person come out, it loses something.
I think back to the Ultimate Warrior's music hitting, Hulk Hogan's music hitting.
Yes.
You knew it. The instant who they were, when they were. You didn't have to wait for
Randy Savage.
Randy Savage. You didn't have to wait for the name on the screen. Jake Roberts, one of my favorite. You hear the first couple beats and you knew Jake Roberts was walking down to the ring. Like, that to me is pro wrestling, and that's entertainment.
That's the Road Warrior effect. When the Road Warriors walked out, you knew when they used Iron Man and you heard dun, dun, dun. You were like, oh my God. That's we've lost that Road Warrior effect, that knowing who's coming out instantly. And now I've got the entire walk of them going to the ring to react.